Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. In order to support the logistics sector in the Sultanate, a new phase of Batna Express Highway from the Wilaya of Barka to Al Hazm area in the Wilaya of Rostaq is opened. In its first meeting of the year, the Scientific Research Council approves the setting up of strategic programs on cultural legacy and smart cities. The Ministry of Manpower starts implementing compulsory e-submission of immunization plan for commercial establishments in the Governorate of Muscat. First at the Arab level in comprehensive coverage of Internet Index 2017. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana on the occasion of his country's independence anniversary. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, leaves for Indonesia tomorrow to lead the Sultanate's delegation to the Summit of Leaders of Indian Ocean Rim Association member states, due to be held in Jakarta on the 6th and 7th of the current month. The Ministry of Transport and Communications celebrated the inauguration of a new phase of Batna Express Highway with 45 kilometers length from the Wilaya of Barka flyover to Al Hazm area in the Wilaya of Rostaq. The project is considered within the Sultanate's strategy to construct roads which will enhance the opportunities of commercial, economic and touristic growth in addition to the urban development. The project is designed with high standards of express highways with 4 lanes in each direction and will be the strategic alternative for the current Batna road, which will allow its expected capacity in traffic movement due to the economic acceleration in the governorates of North and South Batna. The road is also considered an international gateway that connects the Sultanate with the neighboring countries. The Scientific Research Council approved a setting up of the strategic programs on cultural legacy and smart cities during its first meeting of the year. Approval of the 2 programs aims to contribute in promoting the efforts exerted in the Sultanate to study and monitor the material and moral manifestations of the cultural legacy and to find solutions to some challenges facing the cities, such as traffic jam, lack of car parkings and scarcity of smart touristic services. The meeting was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Rawiya bin Saud al-Busaidiya, Minister of Higher Education, Deputy Chairperson of the Research Council. The Ministry of Manpower began implementation of the compulsory electronic submission of the Omanization Plan for commercial establishments in the Governorate of Muscat and to be implemented in other governorates later this year. This service enables the employers to register data of the Omanization Plan to recruit national manpower according to occupations at branches of any establishment and include data of the occupation qualification, wage details, place of work, and the number required of the employees as per manpower recruitment criteria at the establishments of the private sector. The e-portal of the Ministry of Finance provided with a number of services for those who are subjected to file tax returns is aimed to facilitate procedures and to have an insight for updates of transactions of previous years at business sectors. The portal gave an opportunity to review all legislation, agreements and tax regulations. It has high-level security and protection. The procedures which the Ministry of Finance works to refine them are aimed to tackle obstacles and challenges being faced in the process of applying the tax system that are being currently applied. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs organized a training workshop on combating illegal trade of wildlife and applying CITES treaty, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. The workshop aimed at acquainting the participants with the importance of multilateral treaty which is meant to protect endangered plants and animals. It as well aimed at acquainting the participants with the animals and plants that are mostly vulnerable to illegal trade. The 5-day workshop discussed the laws and legislations being enforced locally in the field of protecting endangered animals and plants. It also highlighted the strategic location and biodiversity of the Sultanate. It also aimed at providing participants with information and skills needed to combat the illegal trade of wildlife. Still to come in our news bulletin. A Kenyan farmer drives over 70 kilometers to deliver water several times a week for elephants and buffaloes to drink. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Rasbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, received in his office at Muaskar al-Murtafa today Lieutenant General Thomas Beckett, Senior Defense Advisor for Middle East at the Ministry of Defense in the United Kingdom, currently visiting the Sultanate. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and touched on a number of matters of common concern between the two friendly countries. The Sultanate comes first at the Arab level and in the comprehensive coverage of Internet Index 2017, which was prepared by the Unit of Economic Studies affiliated to British Economist magazine. The Sultanate ranked 24th at the international level in the comprehensive coverage of Internet Index among 75 countries covered by the classification. The Sultanate also got 17th position in the sub-index for infrastructure, in which the report considers as the main power of the country, pointed to the huge development achieved by the Sultanate in 4G coverage. The Sultanate also got the 17th position in the sub-index for infrastructure, which the report considers as the main power of the country, pointed to the huge development achieved in the Sultanate in 4G coverage. The index focused in economy, which is considered as most interesting in the internet communication aspect. Oman crude oil hit a record in the trading volume for the past 2 months in Dubai Mercantile Exchange, as the volume of forwarded deals of Oman crude reached to around 30 million barrel in February, whereas in January it stood at more than 40 million barrel. Oman crude recorded a growth rate of 20% last year, with the delivery of 260 million barrel. That came in a statement by the head of marketing department in DME to Shabiba newspaper, confirming that reasons of the demand for Oman crude are due to strict regulatory frameworks of reservation and transparent pricing. As part of the Sultanate's national carrier support to the initiative of the Ministry of Social Development, Oman Air announced the reduction of ticket fare to families of Social Security and the disabled by 50%. This initiative will facilitate completion of procedures associated to traveling for treatment or education or participation in other relevant activities. The reduction is also applicable to the passenger accompanying the mentioned cases. The curtain fell on Muscat International Book Fair in its 22nd edition among social satisfaction about its cultural activities. Around 750 publishing houses from 28 countries took part in the event, which witnessed the attendance of a number of famous Arab writers. The book fair, in its new location in Oman Convention and Exhibition Center, attracted more than 500,000 visitors from inside and outside the Sultanate. The publishing houses stated that the purchasing power of the books generally was very good this year. The volume of trading at Muscat Securities Market rose to 116 million Omani Riyals last month, recording its best level since April 2016. The value of domestic purchases at the securities market rose to around 56.2 million Omani Riyals last week compared to 26.5 million Omani Riyals in the previous week, accounting for 97% of the total trading value worth 57.9 million Omani Riyals. In a wildlife sanctuary in southern Kenya, the relentless sun has bleached savanna grasses and dried up rivers, turning waterholes first into muddy pits and now dust bowls. Herds of elephant, buffalo and zebra have concentrated near one waterhole where for 6 months farmer Patrick Mwalua has been delivering water to them in a blue truck. Here is a report.
Patrick Malua drives over 70 kilometres to deliver water and hope to Kenya's Tsavo region. Unlike many others who sell water in drought-hit residential areas, he's doing it for a charitable cause. Patrick brings the water several times a week so that the elephants and buffaloes can have a drink.
As a Kenyan, I don't see people involved in helping animals so much, especially wildlife. And I said when I grow up, I want to do something for wildlife. And now the time has come that my really focus is in wildlife.
This local pea farmer is haunted by the memory of the last severe drought in 2009, which killed 40% of the animals in Tsavo West National Park. While his initiative is viewed by many as a stopgap measure, Patrick hopes that no more animals will die under his watch. Kenya is experiencing a severe drought that has affected its wildlife, especially in the north. Climate change and human activity in water catchment areas around Tsavo have been blamed for the dry spell. With the next rains not due before April, conservationists are calling for a long-term solution.
There's been a lot of focus on poaching and wildlife crime. But the biggest crime that is going to be is the lack of water in the Tsavo. So unless we start conserving the environments around the Tsavo, get a bit less attention from the poaching and deal with wildlife landscape rehabilitation that will get water flowing back into the Tsavos, we are really going to lose all the wildlife.
Patrick has been seeking donations to fund his weekly water trips. A GoFundMe page set up by an American friend managed to raise around $20,000 in the first 6 months, jumping to over $200,000 in the past 2 weeks. With this money, he hopes to buy his own water truck and dig a borehole in the park.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with low clouds and fog over the governorates of Wusta and South Sharqiyya. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. In order to support the logistics sector in the Sultanate, a new phase of Batna Express Highway from the Wilaya of Barka to Al Hazm area in the Wilaya of Rostaq is open. In its first meeting of the year, the Scientific Research Council approves the setting up of strategic programs on cultural legacy and smart cities. The Ministry of Manpower starts implementing compulsory e-submission of Omanization plan for commercial establishments in the Governorate of Muscat. And the Sultanate comes first at the Arab level in comprehensive coverage of Internet Index 2017. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.